What if the reason you're still broke has nothing to do with how much money you make? It's a harsh truth, but some people stay poor not because of their income, but because of their mindset, habits, and daily decisions. While others quietly build wealth on average salaries, many are trapped in a cycle of survival, not success. And here's the kicker. It's not your fault you weren't taught this, but it is your responsibility to change it. In today's video, we're breaking down the real reason you're not building wealth. And no, it's not just about getting a raise. This isn't just another motivational rant. This is a reality check, backed by data, supported by the habits of self-made millionaires, and presented by a channel dedicated to financial literacy and long-term wealth building. Whether you're earning $30,000 or $100,000 a year, the same psychological and behavioral traps apply. But once you see them clearly, you can finally escape. Let's unpack exactly what's keeping most people broke, and more importantly, what the wealthy are doing differently. The secret isn't how much you work, it's how well you understand the game. Welcome to Army Capital. I am Dominus. Here, you'll uncover the hidden strategies, the untold truths, and the mindset that leads to true financial independence. Behind this voice is a group of strategic minds, people who played the game, lost, won, and now share the real moves. In the United States, nearly 64% of adults live paycheck to paycheck, according to a 2023 Lending Club report. And this isn't just among low-income earners. Over 45% of those earning six figures are in the same boat. That tells us something crucial. Income alone doesn't solve financial insecurity. The real issue is deeper. It's behavioral, it's psychological, it's systemic. Schools never taught us how to manage money, avoid lifestyle inflation, or build long-term wealth. So we fall into familiar traps: credit card debt, emotional spending, and chasing temporary comfort over lasting freedom. But here's the good news. These traps can be identified, understood, and overcome. In this video, we'll walk through 6 powerful shifts from how we think to how we act daily that separate those who stay broke from those who build lasting wealth. These aren't magic tricks or overnight hacks. They're grounded in the actual habits of wealthy individuals, studies in behavioral economics, and time-tested financial principles. Each chapter will reveal one key reason you may still be stuck, and one key habit or strategy to break free. Let's dive in. One of the most silent and destructive forces keeping people broke is a scarcity mindset. It's not always loud or obvious. In fact, it often disguises itself as being realistic or responsible. But at its core, it's driven by fear. Fear of losing money, fear of failing, fear that there's never going to be enough. This mindset convinces people to play small, avoid risks, and cling to security, even when that very security is what's keeping them financially stuck. Think about it. How many people say things like, investing is risky, I could never own a business, or people like me just don't get rich? These aren't just statements. They're internal scripts written by years of exposure to financial stress, cultural conditioning, and a lack of real financial education. And the most dangerous part? These beliefs often go unchallenged for life. According to psychologist Carol Dweck's work on fixed versus growth mindset, people who believe their situation is permanent rarely attempt to change it. Now, imagine applying that to money. If someone truly believes they'll always be broke or average, they won't take the steps needed to invest, build skills, or grow wealth. Why would they? In their mind, it's already decided. Wealthy individuals, by contrast, operate from a mindset of abundance. They believe money flows, not vanishes. They see opportunities where others see obstacles. When an investment fails, they learn. When a risk doesn't pay off, they pivot. This mindset isn't natural. It's built, often through mentors, reading, trial and error, and an intentional decision to see the world through the lens of growth. But let's be clear, abundance isn't just blind optimism. It doesn't mean spending recklessly or pretending problems don't exist. It means believing that solutions are available, that effort compounds over time, and that knowledge can be acquired. It's not about where you are today. It's about believing you can go further tomorrow. So ask yourself, are your financial decisions rooted in fear or in strategy? Are you playing not to lose or playing to win? That subtle shift in thinking is often the difference between staying broke for decades and building a life of financial freedom. The first step to wealth isn't a new job or a crypto tip. It's reprogramming the way you see money, risk, and your own potential. Because until that shifts, even $1 million won't be enough. It'll vanish under the weight of fear and self-sabotage. Let's be honest. Have you ever caught yourself saying the system is rigged or it's impossible to get ahead in this economy? If so, you're not alone. Many Americans feel powerless when it comes to money. But here's the uncomfortable truth. As long as you believe the problem is out there, the solution will always feel out of reach. That belief is one of the biggest traps keeping people financially stuck. It's easy to blame external factors. The government, student loans, the housing market, your employer. And while these things are real challenges, there's a big difference between acknowledging an obstacle and surrendering to it. Wealthy people, especially self-made millionaires, don't deny reality, but they also don't let it define their ceiling. They take radical ownership of their financial life, even when the odds aren't in their favor. According to a study by Ramsey Solutions, 79% of millionaires in the U.S. did not inherit money. That alone dismantles a myth that wealth is only for privileged. These people didn't wait for perfect conditions. They made financial decisions, small, consistent ones that compounded over time. And more importantly, they didn't outsource responsibility for where they were headed. Now, let's be real. Ownership doesn't mean pretending the system is fair or that hard work always pays off immediately. It means this. You can't control everything, but you can control enough to change your trajectory. You can control what you learn, what you spend, how you respond, and whether you build or destroy your future. One decision at a time. And that mindset shift changes everything. When you stop seeing yourself as a victim of the system and start acting like the CEO of your life, the game changes. Suddenly, you're not just reacting, you're building. You're not just wishing, you're strategizing. Isn't that how real power starts? It's not about pretending to be invincible. It's about becoming intentional. Because once you realize you're the most important asset in your portfolio, you stop waiting for someone else to come save you. And that's when real progress begins. So ask yourself, what would happen if you acted like your financial life was your business? Would you be more careful with spending? More serious about growth? That shift from passive to proactive is where financial transformation actually begins. Here's a tough pill to swallow. A lot of people go broke trying to look wealthy. The car lease, the upgraded iPhone, the designer sneakers, none of these things are inherently bad. But when they're driven by the need to signal wealth instead of build it, they become financial landmines. And in a culture obsessed with image, this trap is everywhere. According to a 2023 CNBC report, nearly 60% of millennials admit to spending beyond their means to keep up with peers on social media. Let that sink in. Over half are literally choosing debt just to maintain a digital illusion. Meanwhile, the truly wealthy often live well below their means, quietly growing their net worth without the need for flash. Why? Because they understand a simple truth. Status doesn't build wealth. Ownership does. Think about it. How many people do you know who drive luxury cars but don't have $1,000 in an emergency fund? That's not success. That's survival dressed in brand names. The wealthy aren't immune to temptation, but they play a different game. They buy assets before liabilities. They think in decades, not in dopamine. The difference isn't just money, it's mindset. Rich people often see spending as a tool, not a reward. They know when to delay gratification. They know when to say no. And they understand that a $5,000 vacation today could cost $50,000 in lost investment growth later. Is that trip really worth it? Or is it just an emotional escape? Lifestyle creep is real as income rises. So do expenses unless you consciously fight it. The average American household increases spending in lockstep with every raise. But wealthy individuals do the opposite. They lock in a low-cost lifestyle early and let their assets do the heavy lifting later. And let's be honest, social media makes this 10 times harder. You're constantly bombarded with images of success. But remember, what you see online is often financed with debt, not discipline. The real flex? Financial freedom. Sleeping peacefully knowing your money is working for you, not the other way around. So here's the question. Are you spending to feel good for a moment or building to live free forever? That's not a trick question. It's a crossroad most people face every single day. And only one of those paths leads to lasting wealth. If there's one concept that separates the financially secure from perpetually broke, it's this: compound interest. Albert Einstein allegedly called it the eighth wonder of the world. And whether he said it or not, the point still stands. It's one of the most powerful forces in wealth creation. But here's the tragedy. Most people don't understand it, and those who do often start too late. Let's break it down. If a 22-year-old invests just $300 per month in a simple index fund with a 10% average annual return, they'll have over $1 million by age 62. That's not magic. That's time and consistency. But delay that same investment until age 32, and the final amount gets cut nearly in half. The math is brutal, and most people only realize it when it's already too late. Why does this happen? Because traditional education fails us. Schools teach algebra, but not compound growth. They show us how to write checks, but not how to build wealth. And when we finally start earning, we prioritize spending over saving, lifestyle over leverage. The opportunity cost of not investing early is enormous and completely invisible in the moment. Wealthy individuals don't just understand compound interest, they revere it. They treat time as their most valuable asset, not money. They automate investments, avoid emotional decisions, and let the market work for them, not against them. It's not about beating the market. It's about being in it early and often. But here's what most people miss. Compound interest works in reverse, too. Carrying a $10,000 credit card balance at 24% APR, that's compounding against you, while your future self could be earning thousands passively. Instead, you're paying it month after month. The same force that could build your freedom becomes your burden. This is why financial literacy isn't optional. It's survival. Understanding how money grows over time isn't just a cool skill. It's the difference between working until you're 70 or retiring on your own terms, between living paycheck to paycheck or waking up to income that came in while you slept. So here's a tough question. Are you letting time work for you or against you? Every dollar you invest today isn't just money. It's future freedom. And every year you wait, that's opportunity walking out the door. Most people think building wealth requires some massive breakthrough, a business idea, a windfall, a lucky investment. But the truth is far less dramatic and way more consistent. Wealth is built in the small, almost invisible decisions you make every day. The $10 you didn't spend, the lunch you packed instead of buying, the 5 minutes you use to track expenses instead of scrolling TikTok. These moments add up. James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, explains that small habits, repeated consistently, create powerful identity shifts. Wealthy individuals don't just try to save money. They become the kind of person who always pays themselves first. They're not perfect, but they're intentional. They don't rely on motivation. They rely on systems. Let's take budgeting, for example. It's not exciting. It's not glamorous, but it works. Wealthy people don't just know where their money goes. They tell it where to go. They track, adjust, reflect. It's not about deprivation. It's about direction. A budget isn't a prison. It's a plan for freedom. And automation, that's another secret weapon. The rich automate everything they can: investments, savings, bill payments, so they don't have to rely on willpower. Why? Because willpower is unreliable. But systems don't forget. They don't get tired. They execute quietly and consistently. It's also about environment. Rich people intentionally design their lives to reduce friction and eliminate temptation. That might mean unsubscribing from marketing emails, deleting shopping apps, or surrounding themselves with people who talk about building instead of buying. Are your daily surroundings pushing you toward wealth or pulling you away from it? And then there's the review process. At least once a month, the wealthy check in with their finances like a CEO reviews a business report. What worked? What didn't? What needs to change? This kind of reflection is rare, but it's what separates the intentional from the impulsive. And it doesn't take hours, just consistency. So pause for a moment and ask, what's one small habit you can start today that would move you closer to financial freedom? Not someday, not when you make more, today. Because the truth is, wealth isn't built in leaps, it's built in layers, quietly, patiently, and always on purpose. Take a look around you, not just your physical space, but the people you talk to every day, the content you consume, the conversations you're part of. Because here's something most people overlook. Your environment is silently shaping your financial future, and it's doing that whether you notice it or not. According to research from Harvard Business School, the income of your 5 closest friends tends to reflect your own. Why? Because we subconsciously mirror the behaviors, beliefs, and standards das pessoas nasa redder. If your circle sees saving money as boring, investing as risky, and wealth is something for other people, chances are you'll absorb that too, even if you don't realize it. Now think about this. When was the last time someone in your circle recommended a great stock, a high-yield savings account, or a new business idea, versus the last time someone said, let's just go out and blow some money this weekend? See the difference? One keeps you in the same loop. The other opens a door. Wealthy individuals are intentional about their environment. They spend time with people who talk about ideas, not just gossip. They join masterminds, listen to podcasts, read books, follow creators that expand their perspective, because they know proximity matters. They know that being in the right room can change your entire trajectory. But here's the twist. Your environment isn't just about people. It's about what you allow into your daily routine. Your phone's home screen, the YouTube channels you watch, the newsletters you subscribe to. These inputs, they become your financial diet. And just like with food, what you consume consistently either strengthens you or silently weakens you. So the question becomes, are you curating your world to support your goals or letting the world program you by default? You don't need to cut everyone off or live in a bubble, but you do need to choose your influences like your future depends on it, because it does. Because at the end of the day, you're not just building wealth, you're building identity. And identity is shaped in community. So build one that holds you accountable, challenges your thinking, and makes growth feel normal, not rare. The truth is, most people won't make a change after watching a video like this. They'll nod, agree, maybe even feel inspired, but then go back to the same habits, the same thinking, the same environment. But if you've made it this far, that's probably not you. You're here because something inside of you is done settling, done surviving, and ready to start building. Real financial change doesn't start in your bank account. It starts in your mind, in your choices, in the way you show up for yourself day after day. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be aware. Aware of the traps, aware of the options, aware that even in a world designed to distract and discourage, you still have the power to design a life of wealth, peace, and purpose, one decision at a time. If no one ever told you this before, hear it now. You are not destined to stay where you are. Your financial story can change. You don't need a lottery ticket or a perfect economy. You need awareness, discipline, and the courage to take small, consistent steps, even when no one's watching. That's how real wealth is built. Quietly, over time. And it starts with you. If this video opened your eyes or made you think differently about money, even just a little, don't let it stop here. Hit that subscribe button, turn on the notifications, and join a community that believes in long-term wealth, intentional living, and financial independence for real people. Because you're not just here to survive. You're here to build something bigger. Now you know, not because someone gave it to you, but because you came looking for it. If you stay on this path, you'll stop chasing money and start making it chase you. This was another report from Army Capital. I'm Dominus, and I'm watching you.